we have reached an agreement on a 90-day pause and substantially moved down the tariff levels. Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%.
Because it's not too late. Both crypto markets and stock markets are expected to continue to pump. And if we got this 90-day pause, they might pump for 90 days straight. So when it comes to the altcoin market still has room to run. Ethereum went crazy. Yes. And if ETH has just started to break out, you can expect the rest of the altcoins to break out eventually as well. Ayo, 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 what's good? It's your boy Dre La Soul here with some more crypto news and crypto wisdom for your head top. So of course we got to cover this so-called trade deal or this 90-day pause deal that they came to. Got to talk about how the stock markets have been pumping and how the crypto market is pumping and how it is set to continue to pump, right? Good news ahead. We got some tailwinds with some really good news. So let's jump into it, right? Because it's not too late. Both crypto markets and stock markets are expected to continue to pump. And if we got this 90-day pause, they might pump for 90 days straight. So let's talk about some crypto projects that maybe haven't pumped yet and where you could possibly focus your energy. Overall, crypto had a strong weekend, right? And today we're going to talk about the macro as well as a couple of altcoins and the fact that we're back in full bull mode, yo. It is full bull mode. The bull is still here, right? You can see the S&P futures was up 3% yesterday. NASDAQ was up 3.9% yesterday. Some stocks opened up really high, like Amazon, AMD. So S&P is looking really good for both Monday and Tuesday. All this was due to an unexpected trade deal. No one thought that this weekend in Geneva, we would come up with a trade deal. We didn't think that would be announced on Sunday. But it wasn't really a trade deal, right? It was more of like pausing on the trade, right? And that pause is due for them to come up with a negotiation for the actual trade deal.
And I think that led to a great deal of the productivity we've seen. We will be giving details tomorrow. But I can tell you that the talks were productive. We had the vice premier, two vice ministers who were integrally involved, Ambassador Jameson and myself. And I spoke to President Trump, as did Ambassador Jameson last night, and he is fully informed of what is going on.
Li Qiangong and Vice Minister Liao Min worked very diligently, and these are very tough negotiators. A couple of them I know from before and have had past interactions with them. And this was, as the Secretary pointed out, a very constructive 2 days. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to...
But the market still took that as positive, and the markets are ripping right now. So we're on the verge to the highest weekly Bitcoin close. Ethereum is looking great. Ethereum pumped 2 times. It had 2 pumps, reaching a price of 2626, 2,626. The ETH rally, if you look at the funding rates, this is the highest price we've been at. And this is for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is the highest price we've been at with the lowest amount of funding. So that means that there's a lot of incentives for leverage traders to take out more leverage because it would be cheaper for them to borrow the money, meaning that they could still be upside. They could still be pump upside because, the money from all the leverage isn't in yet. So we can see a lot of leverage traders helping the pump continue. So we went into this weekend with probably one of the most complicated trade deals in the world. No one believed that we would come to this deal on Sunday. And, the U.S. announced the China trade deal this weekend, and it was a huge surprise, right? Now, it was an agreement to pause, right? And their PR team kind of came up with the way to paint the picture that it was an actual trade deal. And that was good. It was genius. It helped the market. So it was a bit of a play on words. But you got 90 days for that negotiation to go through. So the key for all of this was confirmation from China, because we didn't want it to be where the U.S. said we had a trade deal and then the China turns around like, yo, we ain't got no type of trade deal. But we got confirmation from both parties, from both sides, from both premiers and all that good stuff, that they agreed to the pause. So it's more of a deal to pause the negotiation, to come to a proper deal, and there will be some nuances as we come to that final deal as well. So we got to pay attention to that. At the moment, both parties will reduce tariffs on each other for the next 90 days. We can expect a lot of trade deals to come up after this now, right? Trade deals are going to continue to happen. And Trump also told us to buy the stock markets before, right? So this is another call for us to invest in the markets. Trump says that he also wants to meet with Russia, and they want to, lower the tension between Ukraine and Russia. Also, India and Pakistan ceasefire. So there's a lot of good things to come during this 90-day pause. Geopolitical, financial, economical, all that good stuff, right? It's the macro that really runs the market, right? And this is helping out. He also made one of the biggest announcements ever, right? Drug companies have to reduce their price of drugs by 30 to 80%. The U.S. prescription drugs are extremely overpriced. Extremely overpriced.
This is a priority for President Trump and indeed the whole administration. I have a personal stake in this. The two very close friends lost children to this terrible scourge. Hundreds of thousands of Americans die every year. And I think that we saw here in Geneva that the Chinese are now serious about assisting the U.S.
So the goal is for Americans to pay as much as the least expensive country in the world when it comes to prescription. By doing this, this actually brings down the inflation without hurting the economy. So this is a big deal. We need things to bring inflation down, right? Because this is considered a monthly expense for people. So if we slash that, if we cut that in half, this will have a dramatic effect on the inflation. Now, the one problem though, the one chart that we have to dig into a little bit further here, and this is the elephant in the room that no one is talking about, is the fact that these 10-year treasury yields aren't coming down at all. Trump needs to get these numbers down to help reprice the debt. This is the one chart that everyone should be watching. So keep your eyes on this, keep your eyes closely on these yields while everybody's in euphoria jumping and, hip, hip, hooray, because the markets are going crazy. So pay attention to that. There's another thing. A lot of people are getting ready to sell. They feel like, the pump might be over, right? This is it for the pump, and they want to sell. But really and truly, I don't think this is the best time to sell. And the reason why people are getting that feeling is because of PTSD from when they were overinvested in the market and, the market went down and it was, turbulent times, right? They don't want to see that again. They see their way out. They see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So why not take some of the green profits now, right? But some people might be getting ready to sell before the party even starts. The party is just getting started. So when it comes to the altcoin market still has room to run. Ethereum went crazy. Yes, ETH went crazy, and ETH is the leader of the altcoins. And if ETH has just started to break out, you can expect the rest of the altcoins to break out eventually as well. There's an indicator that shows only a few altcoins are over their 100-day SMA, which is the simple moving average. In order for the market to become overheated, and when it becomes overheated and heated, that's when you want to start selling. That's when you want to take your profits, right? When the fear and greed index is super high in the 80s, 90s. That's when you see majority of the altcoins over their 100-day SMA. So there's only been a few. So that's another indicator that we still have room to grow, still got room to pump for the altcoin market. Now, ETH is having one of the best price actions it has ever had in a while. And it's mostly due to the fact that ETH was shorted, right? So if we take a look at the altcoin money flow, right? Money flows into Bitcoin. When people make profits in Bitcoin, they then take those profits and flow it into Ethereum. Once Ethereum pumps, people take those profits and put it into smaller altcoins and so on and so forth. And those smaller altcoins, I like to give this analogy, like the trampoline analogy, right? Bitcoin is the big fat kid. The big fat kid, he bounces on the trampoline. He could go butt so high because he's so fat. But when he comes back down and hits that trampoline, he's sending those other coins skyrocketing because they're much lighter, they're smaller. So Ethereum is going to skyrocket. But Ethereum is still a little chunky compared to the other one. So boom, once Ethereum hits that trampoline, boom, it sends the other coins up flying even faster, even harder. So that's the goal. And that's usually how it plays out. So we got to pay attention to how money is moving and how money is flowing in the markets. Now, in order to find those altcoins, we got to look at altcoins with good fundamentals, right? And good pumpamentals. The reason why is because we can see another dip in the market. You know, nothing's guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed in the market is that it's going to change and that it's probably going to be rocky more than you could be solvent, right? So you got to know how to prepare, and you got to hold coins that you're willing to hold, that you have conviction for during the bear markets or during turbulent times. So you got to hold on to coins that you'll be happy to hold when there's a bear market. So pick coins with good fundamentals, right? And I'm not necessarily going to tell you what coins to pick, but some coins, some areas you should look into is RWA, gaming, DeFi, layer one smart contract platforms, and DePIN, right? And those platforms could be like, Bit10's or Tau. That's a good AI platform to look into. You got Chainlink, Athena, we got Ondo Finance, you got PinLink. Those could be your RWA and DeFi plays, right? Render Network, you got Helium. That could be your DePIN play as well. And then you got coins and platforms like Sui, Say, Avalanche, Solana, of course, Ethereum, and then you got your Cardanos, your XRPs and whatnot. But this is not financial advice. This is just, navigation to help you steer your thoughts and your energy in the right direction and do your own research. But that's all I got for today's Crypto Rant. It's your boy, Dre La Soul. Let's get ready for this crypto pump and this altcoin pump. Make sure your bags are packed. And only sell when you feel the time is right. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. But again, this is not financial advice. It's your boy, Dre La Soul. We out.